Have you ever felt paralyzed by fear? Like David, you too can face your greatest challenges with courage and trust in God. In today's video, we will explore the 5 secrets of David to overcome the deepest fears and trust in God in all circumstances. If you want to discover how to trust God fully, even in the face of the greatest giants in life, keep watching. By the end, you will understand how these secrets can transform your life. First secret, trust in God's heart, the anointing of David. David was not chosen for his appearance or physical strength. He was chosen by God because he had a faithful heart. In 1 Samuel 16, when God sent Samuel to anoint the new king of Israel, David was the least likely of the brothers. But God looked at his heart, not his appearance. This teaches us that trust begins deep within ourselves, in our relationship with God. David knew that it wouldn't be his strength or ability that would make him victorious, but his trust in God. When he faced Goliath, he didn't say, "I will defeat you," but rather, "I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts." 1 Samuel 17:45. This unwavering trust in God's power was the secret to his courage. How is your heart before God? Do you trust in his presence and power, or do you feel insecure and fearful? God chooses you for the faithfulness of your heart, and with him by your side, you can defeat any giant. Second secret, act despite the fear. David facing Goliath. When the army of Israel was paralyzed by fear of Goliath, it was David, a young shepherd, who had the courage to face him. He didn't have King Saul's armor or the training of a warrior, but he had something much more powerful: trust in God. He said, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." 1 Samuel 17:37. David didn't ignore the fear. He simply didn't let fear paralyze him. Instead, he acted with faith, facing an enemy who seemed impossible to defeat. He knew that his courage didn't come from his abilities, but from the trust he had in God to act. Third secret, trust the process. David fleeing from Saul. After being anointed as king, David went through a long journey of fleeing, persecutions, and betrayals. Saul the king became his mortal enemy, and for years David lived in caves and deserts, far from the throne that God had promised him. But even in the most difficult times, David trusted God's process, knowing that each adversity was being used to shape him for the divine purpose. In 1 Samuel 23:14, we see David living in the strongholds of the desert, not knowing exactly when or how God would deliver the kingdom to him. But he didn't despair. He submitted to the process, trusting that God had a perfect plan. How many times do we want to see God's answers immediately? The process may be long, but just like David, we can trust that God is preparing us for something greater. If you are also going through a difficult process and feel that God is shaping you for something greater, share in the comments how you're handling it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now for more reflections like this. Let's grow together in trust in God. Fourth secret, seek refuge in God. Psalm 23. David went through many difficulties and moments of anguish, but in the midst of chaos, he knew where to find refuge: in the Lord. In one of his most well-known Psalms, Psalm 23, David declares, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. Even in the darkest valleys, David knew that God was with him, guiding and protecting him. This psalm doesn't speak of a life without difficulties, but of an unwavering trust in God, who is with us even in the most difficult times. When you face fear, where do you seek refuge? God is our faithful shepherd, and by seeking him in prayer and meditation, we find peace and security, even in the midst of storms. Fifth secret, be faithful in the small things. David caring for the sheep. Before becoming king and before facing Goliath, David was just a shepherd. He spent hours taking care of the sheep, protecting them from predators, and demonstrating faithfulness in small tasks. When asked about his ability to face Goliath, David said that he had already defeated lions and bears to protect his sheep. 1 Samuel 17:34-36. Faithfulness in the small things is a powerful secret. Before trusting David with great victories, God trained him in simple tasks. Trust in God grows when we are faithful in the everyday details, even when no one is watching. How have you been faithful in the small things? God doesn't overlook your small victories. He is shaping your trust for greater things. By being faithful in the little things, God can trust you with greater responsibilities.